All right, so you're ready to graft the top of your patch?
Yep, so the patch has been knitted on. It's been attached securely to both sides.
Looks like
picked
a
up
pocket.
from the bottom. Yeah, it basically looks
It
like
is
a
a
little different
pocket.
ways you can do it. I mean, depending on what you're comfortable with. Especially in the case of a solid color yarn, it might be a little difficult to see where a row actually goes. In this case, it's a multicolored yarn, so I know that I'll be grafting into this yellow row here,
Right.
so I don't need to pick it up. But if you're having trouble deciding exactly where that row is you're going to be grafting into, you might want to pick the stitches up on another needle. Using your handy dandy darning egg.
To hold it up kind of in place.
Yep, that'll hold your stitches in place
Nice.
because basically you've got this funny little curl of broken fabric underneath here that doesn't really want to sit.
Yeah.
And also, this new yarn is, this new piece of knitting is a lot firmer than the very relaxed
You're
fabric.
trying to get them to match up.
Yeah, so as you can see, there's a little bit of pucker here. Even if it's the same gauge you started out with and it's the same number of stitches, you're still going to have funny issues like that. And that's just kind of part of the fun of doing this. So, we're going to start grafting. I'm going to get my stitches in a row here. Okay. So I'm actually going to go... I'm going to go into the fabric first. So I'm just going to put my yarn needle down through there. And let's see, I want to graft the yellow. Okay. So this is kind of weird when you're grafting live stitches onto old stitches because you're basically going to replace the old stitch. So I'm kind of skipping over some of the Kitchener directions because essentially you're Kitchenering. So you're going to go, you're going to follow where that stitch normally would go. So this, I'm looking at the yellow stitch here. So where this goes up and over, I'm going up and over through the pink stitches. When it comes back down, I'm following where the yellow stitch would go through these mauve stitches on the bottom.
So you're doing the top half onto your live stitches and
the bottom half
right
onto
the fabric.
Right into the fabric, yep. You want to pull it fairly tight, not so tight as to cause any stress on the fabric, but...
And make another hole?
Yeah, and make another hole.
No more holes.
Yeah, we really don't want that. That's the point of darning. And this can get nice and confusing in here. Yeah.
Do you repeat a little mantra to yourself?
No.
Knit front, purl back, all that?
I actually try to just completely clear my mind of anything that might be going on because it will totally get me backwards.
So I shouldn't talk to you?
No, that's fine. Luckily, in this case, because it is different colors, I can tell pretty well what's going on. So this is just your standard Kitchener stitch, except it's one row of live stitches and one row of already existing stitches.
Well, you understand your knitting so much better, though, if you can figure this out.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely.
Because then you understand how knit stitches work together.
Right. This is almost done here.
Wow.
Kind of amazing.
We were talking off camera about how darning is something you just put off forever and ever. But when you actually sit down to do it, it's so fast.
Yeah, and this in particular, I mean, you know, the time it took while we were off camera and I was finishing this was maybe 5 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So in all, it's taken about 15 minutes to fix this heel, which, I mean, considering the size of the hole, pretty amazing. Yeah.
And how long it took you to knit the sock to start with? It's definitely a worthwhile investment.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't deal with the idea of throwing socks away. I just, that would just make me so sad. So that is why I sit here and do this. Oh, we're almost done. Almost done.
Yay. When you get to the end, are you just going to weave your end in?
Yep,
like
you just
normal?
poke it back through the back and you weave your end in. What you might want to do is, you know, with your nice long tail, you might want to just weave that in and out of the outer stitches as well. Because what that's going to do, if you kind of try to hide it in there, if this falls out for some reason or something else weakens and blows out, you already have a frame.
Your tail's attached to everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you already have a frame to do it again.
Okay.
So it's kind of a I wouldn't say a fail-safe, but it's definitely a way to be able to fix it faster if something should happen. Because, you know, this fabric, these socks are probably 3 or 4 years old. So you can imagine how many times I've worn them, and this yarn is not in real great shape after that much time. So that's it.
There we go. Your
got a
pretty
patch.
pink patch. Thanks, Kerin.
Yep, sure.